Hello, my name is Shawni. I'm a technician here at Montana Equine, and I have Haley here, and we have a full leg cast on her with a bandage underneath. We're going to take that off, change the wound dressing, and then I'm going to show you how to bandage it all the way back up properly, and hopefully that it stays up. First, we're going to take this vet wrap off. Alright, so we're going to take the cast off. Alright, check out how this wound is looking. Always be extra careful when pulling the elastic on off. Sometimes some horses can be pretty sensitive about it. Nice and slow here. Good girl. Now we're going to do a little cleanup on it. So I've got some just sterile saline here. So once we get this all cleaned up, we're going to perform a cold laser therapy treatment on this wound and the entire incision. That's going to help increase blood flow to the area for repair and healthy new cell growth. So that will also help her in her healing process, as it does with not only just wounds but other soft tissue injuries. So now we're going to do the cold laser treatment. It only takes a few minutes for what we're trying to do here. It's basically, they don't feel much of anything. Some say maybe there's a warming sensation, but most horses that I've worked on, they don't really have any kind of reaction to it. And like I said before, this is going to help increase the circulation, decrease the inflammation in this area, and then also penetrate the tissues to help with healthy cell and tissue repair. Alright, so now we're going to get her wrapped back up. I'm going to put a sterile talpa and cling on it. And this time we're just going to do a dry bandage, so I'm not going to put anything on the talpa. We're just going to put it straight onto the wound. And this goes with everyone doing bandage changes at home. The most important thing is to try to make sure that our bandage doesn't slip. And so there's things that we can do to make sure that the talpa stays in place. And we're going to put some elastic on over the top of this to just make sure that it doesn't slide around and that it stays absolutely as clean as possible. And now we're going to go to our double stocked wrap. This step can kind of be tricky because we've got two cottons that we're going to stack to make sure that we don't get a bunch of swelling down below. So because of the nature of her wound and where it's at, we're going to do a double stack. Sometimes you can get away with just one, other times you can't. We're going to start it here at the bottom, and we want to make sure that we come all the way down to the heel. And then also making sure that we lay it so that it doesn't get a bunch of wrinkles. This will be important for later when we're putting the brown gauze in the vet wrap on top. This is. We'll put some brown gauze on this layer just to help us keep this in place as we put our other one on. I'm just going to grab my cast and make sure that I'm well above and below so we don't get any sores. You want to be really careful in this step to make sure you don't get too much pressure on the top of their hock because they can get really bad sores there. And then it's very uncomfortable for them to move around with. And I tried to put that on pretty snug. With this cotton, you can go as tight as you can. We have 3 layers of cotton here. So there's no way to make this bandage too tight unless you're using something that doesn't have a lot of give, like elasticon tape. You do want to make sure that as you're going through all of this, we don't want to, if you're using like a thinner cotton, we don't want to get it too tight because then we can have problems with pressure sores, and that can make a whole other issue when you're trying to get a wound to heal, or if you're wrapping a horse for a tendon injury. It makes them way more lame, and then it causes really uncomfortable sores for them. Alright, so we're going to continue this down. And you can go around the hock now pretty snug because we have all that padding. And it's also good, it makes everything lay down uniform, that you roll your bandage all the same direction. So I put my cotton on all the same way, I put my brown gauze on the same direction, and now I'm putting the vet wrap in the same direction as well. There we go. And as you can see, when I laid the vet wrap, I pull it, it'll be wrinkly at first, and I pull it tight and it all becomes smooth. So that's how tight you want your vet wrap to be. One layer here around the top to just condense that cotton down, and then we'll put our cast over the top. So we got lucky on this one. The bandage was tight enough that it fit well underneath the cast. Sometimes you can't help it, it's a little bit bigger. You just do the best you can and place it as snug as you can on there. Then you'll do the same with the duct tape. Just make it as tight as we can to hold it in place. Healy, you're all bandaged back up. So absolutely, if you ever have any questions about bandage changing, what you should put on a wound, we're always happy here at Montana Equine to get pictures to the doctors so we can keep you on the right track on how to keep your wound going in a positive direction and getting your horse back to work.